Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Edge Hill. My name is Clive Edwards. I'm Pro-Chancellor and Chair of the Governors here at this university. And it's a great pleasure now to declare this congregation for the conferment of degrees to be open.
Pro-Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, Mr. Mayor, Deputy and fellow Pro-Vice-Chancellors, graduands, friends and family, good afternoon. I'm very pleased to add my welcome to that of the Pro-Chancellor, Professor Edwards. My name is George Talbot, and it's my particular privilege to be Pro-Vice-Chancellor for Research and Dean of the Faculty of Arts and Sciences here at Edge Hill University. These December ceremonies are a beacon for us all in the university as the old year gives way to a new one, the shortest day less than a fortnight off. And graduation is very much a story of new beginnings, with graduands coming to the end of a lengthy period of study and taking the first steps on new careers, further study, or other new opportunities. Edge Hill is a special place, founded on the ideas of opportunity and of breaking the mold. When founded 132 years ago, it was the first non-denominational teacher training college for young women in the north of England. We have been associated nationally with widening participation for a couple of decades, and since gaining university status in 2006, we have been building our reputation consistently. As you may have noticed entering the campus, we have been awarded the government's highest accolade for the quality of our teaching, Gold in the Teaching Excellence Framework, as well as winning this year's Sunday Times University of the Year Award for student retention. These badges are important to us. Not just to us, but to you graduating today, because you will be forever associated with the strength of Edge Hill's brand and reputation. And that brand and reputation is based resolutely on values. And it's worth reiterating our values on a formal occasion such as this. The Edge Hill community will embrace challenge and seize opportunity, expect and celebrate creativity and excellence, act responsibility and with integrity, show determination, resilience, ambition and adaptability, and work together to deliver our vision. To realize that vision, we have continued to invest in an ambitious program of building development, as you will see around you coming in from the car park, with the new library due to open next summer, along with more units of student accommodation. In the course of your time here, I hope you will have derived benefit from these new high specification facilities, whether the living or teaching spaces or the sport and exercise complex from which the local Ormskirk and West Lancashire community gains enjoyment. But of course, while they need buildings in order to function, universities are primarily about people and ideas, where rational argument and diversity are cherished and research insights are celebrated. The principal differentiator of university reputation worldwide is the quality of its research, something which is assessed periodically in this country, most recently in 2014, when Edge Hill rose 29 places in the rankings. Alongside our building program, we've been investing strategically in new staff to develop and refresh our undergraduate curricula and to gear up capacity to supervise students to PhD level. And I'm especially pleased today to be presenting a broad range of students at both bachelor, master and doctoral levels. We will have 10 PhDs crossing the stage in a few minutes, taking us about halfway to our target of 100 PhD completions by the census point for the next Research Excellence Framework in 2020, and that'll be a 600% increase on the last time. Research matters because it drives innovation and productivity, whether in teaching, in its application to solving the world's problems, and in knowledge exchange with businesses, cultural community institutions, and with the NHS. But let me be crystal clear. Educating students is this university's core mission, and students will rightly always be at the core of our strategic decisions. And today is about you, celebrating your success and the excellence of your contribution to the Edge Hill community. You've worked hard, got your assignments in, perhaps juggling work or family commitments, and encountering new ways of looking at the world. Today is the moment to celebrate it publicly with family and friends. And it's your family's day too. The graduands sitting here to my left facing you today know in their heart of hearts that they owe a considerable part of their achievements over the last 3 years, indeed 20 years and more, to the love and encouragement and support, whether emotional or material, which has been provided by their mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, perhaps grandparents, and the special friends who admit of no easy categorization. Our country stands at a crossroads. You are graduating at a time of uncertainty and political flux. More than ever, you need to be aware of your values in order to guide your next steps. What you have learned here at Edge Hill should help you. Universities have a long history. In the West, they have developed out of traditions of education and democracy originating in ancient Greece. Aristotle, the ancient Greek philosopher, wrote that excellence is an art won by training and habituation. We do not act rightly because we have virtue or excellence, but rather have those because we have acted rightly. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Aristotle's philosophy of education has been the bedrock of Western pedagogy for well over 2,000 years, and it unites explicitly the ideas of discipline and character building for personal happiness and active civic engagement. We are what we repeatedly do, to quote Aristotle again. Think about it. You have choices. If you want to be a better person, or help build a better society or team or company or school or local community, then making change starts with you, and success will follow your own consistency. Excellence is not a single act, but a lifelong habit made up of repeated single acts. If you sometimes fall short of that, don't despair. We are none of us perfect. The Edge Hill way, though, is to keep trying. That's the determination, resilience, and adaptability part of our set of values. You can draw some confidence from the fact that graduates of Edge Hill University currently have a 95.5 success rate in terms of entering employment or higher study within 6 months of graduation. An Edge Hill degree has increasing cachet with employers. Still, you will be lucky, indeed, if you land your ideal job in the next 6 months. Our university motto, In Scientia Opportunitas, is a subtle one, easy to misinterpret. It counsels that in knowledge, or perhaps know-how is a better translation, lies advantage or possibility. Think strategically about what it is you want to do in life, and consider the steps you may have to take beyond the step you take this afternoon. And that may involve taking one job with a view to learning from it in order to move on to something better. Be smart. In all probability, you will spend many years working and enjoying life, as we tend to live longer than previous generations, at least in this part of the world, and therefore the span of our working lives will increase. So take the long view. In any case, your own success will come down to how you draw on your experience and marshal your thoughts in an interview or aptitude test. And our careers office is here to help you with advice and guidance. And as you become our alumni today, we invite you to keep in contact with the university. You're part of the Edge Hill community, and you'll always be welcome here. Let me conclude with a maxim from Nelson Mandela, a great leader who embodied responsibility and integrity, and whose moral courage and generous humanity shine through years of political imprisonment at the hands of an evil regime. Education, he said, is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Never forget that. Today is your day. Enjoy it. Thank you.
Pro-Chancellor, Deputy and Pro-Vice-Chancellors, honoured guests, colleagues, family and friends, and most important of all, graduands. It's December 2017, and the European record for the mile is held by a man 2/3 of the way through his 6th decade. That record was established 32 years ago and stood as the world's best mark for more than 8 years. The athlete was Steve Cram. But the summer of 1985 represented much more than this. In just 19 days, Steve broke 3 world records: the mile, the 1,500 metres, and the 2,000 metres. He was the first man, the first human being, to run 1,500 metres in less than 3.5 minutes. And although less fated, that is a much more significant achievement than that of Roger Bannister 3 decades earlier. And Steve also ran the second fastest 1,000 metres in history in windy conditions on his home track back at Gateshead. And that's where the story starts. Steve was born on the 14th of October 1960, a son to Bill and Maria in Gateshead, County Durham, and his loyalty to his home region persists today. As a child, that loyalty manifests itself in a fervent passion for the Black Cats, Sunderland Football Club, a true fan who followed and still follows the club through the good times and perhaps rather more often the bad. And football almost anchored his career as an athlete. Steve's uncle, Bobby Cram, made almost 150 appearances for West Bromwich, and even in his 20s, Steve was described as Sunderland daft in the best totally one-sided manner of the obsessively passionate fan. Jimmy Headley, the coach who first spotted Steve's potential, famously said that the young Steve thought running was just the means of arriving into a goal-scoring position. But that changed in May 1977 in a local club race at Gateshead Stadium, when Steve knocked an astonishing 20 seconds off his best time for the 1,500 metres, running what was then the best ever time for a 16-year-old. 14 months later, Steve was propelled into national stardom. Today, we will have little sense of how athletics gripped the nation, with major meets televised at peak times, and the soaps were shifted to see Cohen Ovett, Foster and Cram in Oslo or Helsinki or Rome. And in the Emsley Car Mile at Crystal Palace, Steve ran the fastest ever time for a 17-year-old. The world called, but the Northeast has bright lights enough. The track had overtaken the schoolroom, but second time around, Steve completed his A-levels and ran in the final of the 1,500 metres at the Moscow Olympics, then heading for Sunderland Polytechnic, running and gaining his honours degree in sports science at the same time. 1981 proved to be a relatively quiet year. Sometimes even students have to study. But 1982 brought European and Commonwealth golds. Steve was decidedly busy in the first half of 1983 with degree examinations that June, enjoying the stimulus and the commitment of academic study alongside training and competing, though, despite altitude training in the USA, his early season form and fitness did not suggest a stellar year. 1983 was also the year in which Steve got his first taste of television, agreeing to be the subject of a 2-part documentary for Tyne Tees Television and Channel 4, with a crew of 10 following many of his moves. Hesitant initially, a strong bond was built with the production team, both enjoying each other's company, though Steve had hoped that the shots of him diving into yet another burger bar would have ended on the cutting room floor. Questionable diet or not, Steve still won the gold medal at the World Championships in Helsinki, meaning that England was home to the Olympic champion, Seb Coe, the world champion, Steve Cram, and the world record holder, Steve Ovett, at the same time. And in December that year, over 20 million viewers saw Steve pick up what was the ultimate accolade at that time, the BBC Sports Personality of the Year. 1984, however, was Orwellian, with injuries severely curtailing the season, albeit a year which ended with an Olympic silver medal. That summer of 1985 saw the world's fastest middle distance athlete at the peak of his powers, world best at the mile, the 1500 and the 2000, all in less than 3 weeks. His excellent form continued the following year. 31 years on, Steve's Commonwealth record still stands, and he added gold in the Europeans in Stuttgart. The following year, his sporting achievements were recognised in the Queen's Honours List, and recognising the longevity and the great commitment of Steve to sport, charity and education, this award was added to in the New Year's Honours List in 2015. Back to athletics. Although winning the Dream Mile for the 4th time in 1988, the golden years of British middle distance running were coming to an end, and Steve retired in 1994 with several of his records still intact, and another career beckoned. Switch on the television, the Olympics, the Worlds, the Europeans, the Commonwealths, and that authoritative voice is there in the commentary box, initially sharing banter with Brendan Foster, now arguing about drug bans with Michael Johnson, and always giving real insight into athletes and their performance, insight which comes from 40 years in the sport. It is also the insight of a highly regarded sporting coach to many, including, for example, the European and Commonwealth silver medalist, Laura Whiteman, a finalist in that now notorious 1500 metres at the London Olympics. Steve is also highly regarded as a motivational speaker. I first met him doing a gig in Liverpool for Professional Liverpool on belief, commitment and desire. But he also took time out to visit this university, to open the new athletics track, to speak to a full sports hall, and perhaps most impressive of all, to jump, throw and run with local primary school children, whilst always just beating them by the width of Saida Itza's vest. There is more. A strong advocate of education as a means of opportunity, Steve co-founded the Newcastle-based charity COCO in 2000 with former Army Major Jim Panton, aiming to provide brighter futures across the globe to children in remote regions of the developing world. This charity has raised over £4 million towards providing sustainable community-led initiatives which help to alleviate the poverty that prevents children gaining an education. So today is a privilege. It's a privilege for 3 reasons. Recognise the man who has been the world's greatest athlete and remains very close to the top of that list. Recognising one of the world's foremost commentators, and acknowledging a good guy, a friend, shortly a graduate of this university. But I have a 4th attribute to add. Whilst it might be easier or more convenient to live elsewhere, Steve is committed to his region, the North East. He's committed to his soccer side, Sunderland, and he is committed to education and to higher education, particularly as a means of helping to advantage those who are less advantaged. In 2008, Steve became the Chancellor of the University of Sunderland, the university from which he graduated 25 years earlier, having already added an honorary fellowship to his degree and acted as president of the university's Alumni Association. And as he said on accepting the award, I'm passionate about the North East, about Sunderland and about education, and this is a wonderful opportunity to combine all 3. This isn't Sunderland, but it is the North, and this is, like Sunderland, a university passionate about creating life chances. It is our great privilege to have someone who shares our values, our passions, our desire, as a friend and as an alumnus. Pro-Chancellor, Deputy and Pro-Vice Chancellors, colleagues, graduates, family and friends, it gives me immense pleasure to present Steve Cram, CBE, the award of Doctor of Science honoris causa. Some formal words. By the authority vested in me as Vice-Chancellor of Edge Hill University, I hereby confer the award of Honorary Doctor of Science upon Steve Cram, CBE. Congratulations.
Pro-Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, this just feels very odd, I have to say at the very beginning, because I get to read those words out many occasions as Chancellor, as you've just heard, of our university in Sunderland. So it feels like a little bit of a busman's holiday, this. But nonetheless, immensely proud occasion for me. For those of you who are a little bit older, I never ever got to go on This Is Your Life. Is it on anymore? I don't think it's on anymore, is it? Google it, okay? But it felt a little bit like that, so thank you so much for that wonderful citation. It really was special. Some of it I'd forgotten, so thank you very much. It always seems odd in a sense, because this is such an important day for all of you, friends and family of these wonderful people we have sitting up here on my left. And it's their day, not mine. And people like myself, I guess, our role on a day like this is meant to offer you some great words of wisdom with the benefit of my age and experience that sadly I have now. And I always find that a little bit odd, because as you've heard, my life went in a direction I hadn't planned, which is kind of a wonderful thing, because that's where you're at now. You don't quite know what is ahead of you, and that's really exciting. And I end up standing here today and all of those things that were mentioned as a result of running circles around a track. I mean, how bizarre is that? Coming from a part of the world, as you rightly point out, where, look, if you grow up in the northeast of England in the 70s as a Sunderland fan, you have no ambition. It just goes with the territory. We used to say if the Bovril was hot at half-time, that was good. We were happy with that. We kept our expectations low. But actually, when I think back, and I'll try and give you something to go, a couple of things to go with, and I will come back to the guy you mentioned, Jimmy Headley, because when you're young, it isn't so easy to see what's ahead, and why should you? And somebody much wiser than me once said to me, it's a bit like if I gave you whatever figure you want to say, let's give it a nice round sum, all the money you're going to earn, and some of you are going to earn a lot over the next 30, 40 years, and we give it all to you now in your early 20s, or about when you're 20, what would you do with it? Well, to begin with, you'd have fun, wouldn't you? I mean, let's say it was £1 million, and you'd go, right, this is fantastic, I've never had this sort of money before, and you'd have fun with it. And every tenner, you wouldn't take so much care of it. And then roll the clock forward 30 years, and you've only got £100 left of your million. Thankfully, that's not how the world works, okay? But imagine, every penny you spend at that point, you'd probably think a little bit more about what you're going to spend it on and what you would do with it. And time is a bit like that, isn't it? When we are young, and I had all of those wonderful occasions ahead of me, it seems like it's just stretching out ahead of you. And I assure you, when you get to 57, or as you nicely put it, 2/3 of the way through my 6th decade, I'm going to use that because it takes people a while to work that one out. You value time a little bit more, what you do with it. You treat it a little bit like money that's easily spent. You spend it as wisely as you can. And that's something which I think one of the major things I've learned is that none of us are here to kind of have our whole career and our futures mapped out for us. That's the excitement of being where you guys are in your lives right now. And that individual that was mentioned, my coach, if the one thing that has helped me be successful during that period and to spend some of my time wisely and to do some things which have turned out to be a great asset to me and my family and friends and my life and take me in directions which I could never have dreamed of, then there were probably 2 or 3 things he said. Now, this is the point where people often quote really famous, including Aristotle. I'm going to quote Jimmy Headley, because a couple of times he said these things to me, I didn't quite understand them in my teenage years and at the start of my athletics career. But one of them, he said, one of the first things was, I didn't turn up to training one night. Admittedly, it was cold. Weather was a bit like this. It was in November, and Top of the Pops was on. Google it, okay? You'll work it out. Those of you old know so. And I didn't go to the athletic club. It was one of the first times I hadn't turned up. And I went to the club a couple of days later, and he absolutely pinned me up against the wall in front of everybody else. Why weren't you here? You should have been there. I said, oh, come on, Jimmy. What difference does a day make? And he came back with a line I never forgot, which was, one day doesn't matter, Bonnie lad, but every day does. Now, I was 14 and it went completely over my head. But in years later, I learned that what he was trying to say was it's about being consistent and sticking to what you're doing. And that, yes, today's not that important, but you need to understand that every single day that goes by, you're not going to get that back. And as an athlete training, that was important. And that stuck with me right throughout my career in later years. And then one of his other phrases a little bit later on, when I used to get a bit anxious about, was I doing the right thing? Is this going to work? Why am I doing all this training? And I used to always want to be kind of testing myself. And he came out with another one of his phrases, which was, stop digging up your taties to see if they're still growing. And some people might know that's, it's a fairly well-known phrase. And what it means is, potatoes for posh people, the more you kind of dig something up to see if you're stopping it growing. So it's about having a bit of trust, a bit of long-term trust in what you're doing, that it will work out, that at the end of it there will be something that is what you're after and that you're wanting to achieve. And the third thing, which probably was the most important, one of the first big races I had a chance to win was the English Schools Championships when I was 16, 17. And I was a bit nervous about it, and I was a bit lacking a tad bit of confidence. And he said, look, when you go out there, there's 10 of you on the start line, and they're all good. They're all very good. They've all done very well to get to this point. They're the best in the country. And he said the difference is, though, that 9 of them think they're going to win, and 1 of them knows he's going to win. And he walked away. And I stood there thinking, I wonder which one I am. But it was an important lesson, which is about belief. And it's about having the confidence in yourself, in the people around you, in where you've been. This is a wonderful, wonderful institution that you've been part of. I've seen it at close hand today more than I did last time I was here. And you're so lucky to have been able to have some wonderful people around you, lots of them obviously in the room here today. But that belief is the one thing that you are in charge of. You can do the hard work, you can stick with it, you can go after, pursue dreams, all of the things we like people to think about. But at the end of the day, that's the one thing that you can control. And all the great athletes, all of those things that you read out, it's the one thing that they all have in common, that they have a belief in their ability to one day go on and be successful, at whatever level that might be. And that's really the message I want to leave you with. I stand here today, and it's a wonderful occasion, and thank you so much. But it was just because there was something that I had a real passion for. You were here in the Faculty of Arts and Sciences. You guys are the people who will forge the futures of others in the years to come, or perhaps just be able to change other people's lives as well as your own. It will be about how you think. It will be about your attitude. It'll be about your belief, but follow that passion. And if you do that with just a modicum of the other things we've talked about, the hard work and the tenacity which you've shown, otherwise you wouldn't be here today, then you will be successful. I congratulate all of you. I thank Edge Hill University for having me here today, and I'm so proud now to be an honorary graduate of your institution. Thank you very much, and good luck.
Vice-Chancellor, on behalf of the Academic Board, I present students from the Faculty of Arts and Sciences who are candidates for awards today. For defending the thesis entitled Lexism Beyond the Social Model of Dyslexia, I present Craig Ian Collinson. For defending the thesis entitled Psychological Barriers to Climate Change, an exploration of implicit and explicit attitudes to sustainability and their behavioural implications, I present Laura Maguire. For defending the thesis entitled Return Migration During the Economic Crisis, Experiences of Albanian Return Migrants and Their Children in the Quest to Belong, I present Elida Sena. For defending the thesis entitled Rhizomimetic Art, the Production and Curation of Transdisciplinary Performance, I present James Allen Burrows. For defending the thesis entitled The Dynamics of Learner Engagement, a critical investigation of a visual arts initiative at a pupil referral unit in the northwest of England, I present Claire Kinsella. For defending the thesis entitled The Impacts of Contrasting Grazing Management on Biodiversity in Upland Calcareous Grasslands, I present Ashley Lyons. For defending the thesis entitled The Influence of Groups and Alcohol Consumption on Individual Risk-Taking, I present Marianne Erskine Shaw. For defending the thesis entitled The Temporal Pattern of Recovery of Eccentric Hamstring Strength and Dynamic Stability in Elite Footballers, I present David Mark Rhodes. For defending the thesis entitled Westminster's Narration of Neoliberal Crisis Rationalizing the Irrational, I present Holly White. For the degree of Master of Arts in Creative Writing, Philip Michael Carroll. Susan Patricia Comer. William Francis Patrick Daunt. Jessica Lauren Farrow. Linda Rachel Golding. Robert David Goulding. Marian Jane Hoare. Carl Jane. Craig Lee. John Robert Noden. Brendan Quinn. Beverly Roberts. Hayden Robinson. Michael Turner. For the degree of Master of Arts in Dance Movement Psychotherapy, Kelly Georgia Androna. For the degree of Master of Arts in English, Susan Josephine Dowling. Rebecca Ann Hale. Jenny Margaret Lyon. Christopher J. Moss. Rachel Elizabeth Seagraves. Amy Louise Townley. Samantha Jane Whiteley. For the degree of Master of Arts in Film and Media, Patrick Brattin. Oliver Helt. Leo David Hendrikse. Joe Jackson. For the degree of Master of Arts in History and Culture, Efstathios Amanatidis. Rebecca K. Lamb. Charlie May Lord. Patrick Joseph McMullen. Helen Rawsthorne. For the degree of Master of Arts in Making Performance, Paul Bridson Taylor. For the degree of Master of Arts in Marketing, Communications and Branding, Keegan James Farmer. Janice Elaine Fitzsimons. Samantha Catherine Moran. Daniel F.A. Morka. Thomas Joseph Smith. Mai Hang Tran. For the degree of Master of Arts in Popular Culture, Diane Louise Ambrose. For the degree of Master of Business Administration, Human Resources Management, Athena Joy. Blessing Chidinma Ogadima. Danielle Pritchard. Danielle Joanne Sullivan. Luke Thomas John Swain. Jiajun Zhu. For the degree of Master of Business Administration, Marketing, Sara Arandi Godagandeni Dewaje. For the degree of Master of Research in Childhood and Youth, Katie Louise Skingsley. For the degree of Master of Research in Coach Education, Simone Alicia McGill. For the degree of Master of Research in Critical Management Research, Tracy Hutchison. For the degree of Master of Research in English Language, Rebecca Lee Grocott. Robert Ian Jones. For the degree of Master of Research in Film Studies, Andrew Chambarella. For the degree of Master of Research in Media, Sophie Wilcoxon. For the degree of Master of Research in Sociology, Naomi Elizabeth Berryman. Lee Kelly Connor. Rebecca McKenna Smith. Molly Ann Scotland. Chloe Louise Tate. For the degree of Master of Research in Sport and Exercise Science, Danielle Nicole Chippett. Ross Nicholas Jones. Abby Lee Stiles. Bradley Lewis Tildesley. For the degree of Master of Research in Sports Therapy, Charlie Ray Bowen. For the degree of Master of Science in Computing, Solomon Habte Goitum. Gareth Edwin Jones. Sunit Misra. Rebecca Gale Outram. For the degree of Master of Science in Conservation Management, Elizabeth Sarah Hill. Natalie Jane Hunt. Alice Marshall. For the degree of Master of Science in Cyber Security, Felisberto do Rosario de Brito Viegas. Thomas George Rutter. Edward Wenham. For the degree of Master of Science in Information Security and IT Management, Lydia Hobson. Peter Homer Shuttleworth. Sheriban Yurda Kurban. For the degree of Master of Science in Leadership and Management Development, Jenny Frances Ashworth. Zoe Prince. For the degree of Master of Science in Media Management, Christopher James Holding. For the conversion degree of Master of Science in Psychology, Ashley Jane Connolly. Jessica Marie Garner. Christina Gay. Louise Ellen Hayes. Camilla Rian Higgins. Kira Howarth. Christopher O'Toole. Jane Richardson. Rebecca Jane Roberts. Atinuke Sanderson. Lungile Sifelani. Georgina Kimberly Spencer. Katie Walsh. James Allen Wood. For the degree of Master of Science in Sport, Physical Activity and Mental Health, Michael Andrew Cartmel. Joseph Peter Chow. Amy Louise Dan. Jason Sami El Khale. Christopher David Hill. Tanya Jade O'Donnell. Nicola Ann Southern. Star Nikita Suggett. Rachel Jane Wilcock. For the postgraduate diploma in Sport, Physical Activity and Mental Health, Rachel Ann Follows. Cameron Lindsay Welch. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Childhood and Youth Studies, Jessica Blunt. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Childhood and Youth Studies and Criminology, Charlotte Ann Gelhardt. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Criminology and Criminal Justice, James Paul Booth. Sean Anthony Owen. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Dance, Kieran Joshua Smith. Connor Michael Wilson. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Dance and Drama with Physical Theatres, Gerald Christopher O'Hora. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Dance with Aerial Performance, Daisy May Sanders. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Early Childhood Studies, Amelia K. Gibbons. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours in English, Michael James O'Brien. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours in English Language, Megan Lee Kank. Robert Joseph Sutcliffe. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours in English Literature, Mark Andrew Piercy. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Film and Television Production, Frederick Matthew James Winterbottom. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Film Studies with Film Production, Matthew Stephen Keeley. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Geography, Thomas Arthur Overland. Dylan Reese Fraser Walker.
For Bachelor of Arts with Honours in History, Billy James McCarthy. Matthew Pierce Peter Quinn. Hayden James Thomas. For Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Media, Film and Television, Rachel Holly Everett. Efuoko Ozaragure Orumwense. David Stephen Sexton. For Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Musical Theatre, Catherine Ann Fleming. For Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Physical Education and School Sport, Joshua Liam Brady. Joseph Francis Rogers. Starve Williams. For Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Sociology, Cynthia Precious Misaka. For Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Sports Development, Jonathan William James Bennett. For Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Sports Development and Management, Stephen James Bullen. Dominic Matthew Rigby. For Bachelor of Laws with Honours, Stephanie Elizabeth Quigley. For Bachelor of Laws with Honours in Law with Criminology, Charlotte McFadden. For Bachelor of Science with Honours in Business and Management, Kimberly Lind Augustine. Kaylee Ann Bryant. Abby Lydia Rimmer. Bradley James Shearwood. Pankaj Singh. Lewis Courtney Thompson. Matthew David Lee Thornley. Sam James Tootle. For Bachelor of Science with Honours in Business and Management with Accounting and Finance, Jessica Rose Costigan. For Bachelor of Science with Honours in Business and Management with Leisure and Tourism, Yang Ding. For Bachelor of Science with Honours in Coach Education, Danielle Sarah Brookwell. Ryan Thomas Davis. For Bachelor of Science with Honours in Computing, Walid Abdul Samad Thabit Al-Shawafi. Matthew John Green. Daniel Graham Pennock. Aidan Andrew Weilerman. For Bachelor of Science with Honours in Environmental Science, Matthew Robinson. For Bachelor of Science with Honours in Genetics, Wuret Setan Oramalade. For Bachelor of Science with Honours in Geography, Daniel Edward Atkinson. For Bachelor of Science with Honours in Geology with Physical Geography, Jacob Samuel Hartley. James Robert Proctor. For Bachelor of Science with Honours in International Business, Abel Omatsola Esiatagiwa. For Bachelor of Science with Honours in Marketing with Advertising, Victoria Mary Howell. Jack Patrick McElhenney. For Bachelor of Science with Honours in Psychology, Shannon Eileen Grundy. Suzanne Hales. For Bachelor of Science with Honours in Sport and Exercise Science, Applied Sports Science, Abby Elizabeth Jones. For Bachelor of Science with Honours in Sport and Exercise Science, Exercise and Health, Bethan Page Parr. Joel Christian Stevenson. For Bachelor of Science with Honours in Sports Therapy, Melanie Laura Brown. Joshua Stephen Jamie Coulson. Sydney Francis Jai. Declan James O'Keefe. Emma Florence Robertshaw. For Bachelor of Arts in English Language and Film Studies, Mikolai Tomczek. For Bachelor of Arts in Film Studies with Film Production, Kellyanne Tyra. For Bachelor of Science in Computing, Jamie Leslie Richardson. For the Diploma of Higher Education in Business and Management, Edwin Junior Pasquale. For the Diploma of Higher Education in Physical Education and School Sport, Amy Louise Shepherd. Vice-Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of students from the Faculty of Arts and Sciences.
Vice-Chancellor, on behalf of Academic Board, I present students from the Faculty of Health and Social Care who are candidates for awards today. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Counselling and Psychotherapy, Sabina Momtaz Nahir Mia. Emily Heather Warren. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Health and Social Wellbeing, Maya Louise Hussin. Helen Amanda Leith. Lauren Rothwell. Catherine Alice Whittle. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Social Work, Evelyn Otuko Adjoto. Christina Joan Birchall. Antonia Brand. Beth Connor. Sylvia Marin Loelmo. Paige Catherine O'Donnell. Nicola Michelle Starkey. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Child Health and Wellbeing, Natasha Annabelle Anson. Georgina Frida Rowan Clement. Lauren Copeland. Chloe Edwards. Laura Harrow. Julieta Caroma. Melanie McGivern. Kaylee Louise Owen. Chloe Angela Wilson. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Family and Community Studies, Amy Lynn Richmond. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Nutrition and Health, Liam Conway. Bachelor of Arts in Social Welfare Studies, Emma Louise Davies. Diploma of Higher Education in Health and Social Wellbeing, Megan Alcock. Diploma of Higher Education in Paramedic Practice, Leila Alexander Patton. Andrew Bragg. Michael Branker. Jonathan Caswell. Brian John Chipman. Dominic Comrie. Oliver Stewart Conroy. Heather Coyne. Penny Ditchfield. Craig Fraser. Samantha K. Hammersley. Neil Martin Hookway. Catherine Danielle Howe. Mark Gregory Jackson. Patrick Adam Lewis. Hannah Leslie Lowe. Nikki Carolyn Moss. Amy Owens. David Anthony Parkinson. Darren Ashton Perkins. Stephen James Perry. Kassam Pervez. Hamza Rafiq. Karen Ramsden. Robert Rawcliffe. Amanda Sewell. Paul Simpson. Claire Smith. Lisa Joanne Stocks. Cassandra Helena Sullivan. Dominic Kevin Thompson. Kim Tunstall. Alexander Dean Wadsworth. Christopher Mark Wilkinson. Adam Williams. Cassandra Sanger Smith. Diploma of Higher Education in Psychosocial Analysis of Offending Behaviour, Natalie Pope. Georgia Ellen Rachel Taylor. Vice-Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of students from the Faculty of Health and Social Care.
One thing left to do. By the authority vested in me as Vice-Chancellor of Edge Hill University, I hereby confer the Edge Hill University Awards for which you have been presented, and I congratulate you all. Hats in the air and wave them.
Ladies and gentlemen, with a song for our graduating class of 2017, will you please welcome Miss Lucy McHale.
To you, I would give the world. To you, I'd never be cold, 'cause I feel that when I'm with you, it's alright. I know it's right. And the songbirds keep singing like they know the score. And I love you, I love you, I love you like never before, like never before, like never before.
Well, thank you very much, Lucy. I hope you've enjoyed the ceremony. Judging by the high whooping content, I think you all have from both sides of the room. Can I direct you to refreshments that are available in the centre of the campus in the hub area? Wish you a very safe journey home, and now I close this ceremony.